if you haven't had any sugar for a long time and then you eat something like an apple or something sweet, you're going to blow up. And that's what usually what happens, is because their body's not used to that nutrient. And then all of a sudden they consume it. It wants to hold on to it. Your body says, oh, I missed this. Oh, give me more. I'm going to hold on to this forever. Okay, so you have to eat less, yes, to lose weight, but don't starve yourself. So you don't want to eat too little so that you put yourself in survival mode. Hey guys, it's your V-Fit coach. This is going to be the last video of my B.R.A.V.E series. So if you missed some of the videos, please backtrack on my channel. There's a lot more to come in the next couple months. Have another series upcoming. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and get notified for all this juicy, great content. Before I get started with expenditure, which is the topic of this video, keep in mind that I'm trying to provide my users, my listeners, original content. And I know there's a lot of influencers out there, and however, a lot of that content you may notice is recycled content. So I'm trying to provide you fresh new content, and this is all based on my 37,000 hours experience as a personal trainer, also as a strength competitor, also as a fitness app developer. So you're getting a lot of this information straight from the horse's mouth, and it's like icing on the cake, or more like fat-free cheese on broccoli. Fitness is a big business, and there's a lot of influencers trying to bait you into buying something, buying you supplements. I'm not against all supplements. However, as a competitor, a natural competitor in bodybuilding, in weightlifting and powerlifting, I am obligated to stay drug-free. So quick story. When I was at Vitamin Shop, I believe, can I say Vitamin Shop? Well, I was getting ready for a national competition, weightlift competition in Florida. I believe it was the American Open in 2018. And I had to cut weight. I had to cut down to 67 kilos, or else if I don't get 67, most likely I won't be able to lift, or I won't be able to go down a class and lift. So I asked the guy at Vitamin Shop, and I said, hey, help me out here. I need to cut at least three or 4 pounds in a few days. So we were going through a whole aisle of supplements, trying to find weight loss supplements that could help me drop a few pounds in a couple of days. And unfortunately, we couldn't even find anything. Well, you could find the basic stuff like CLAs or some of the generic stuff, but those things didn't really work. So be careful of what you buy. A lot of stuff is not FDA approved, and they don't have to be, especially in the US. So you can pretty much buy substances almost anywhere online in these stores. And just because they say it's natural doesn't mean it's natural, because the natural is not really defined well. Okay, let's move on. Let's dive in. We're going to dive in. This might be the longest video, but we're going to cover a lot. So expenditure, I'm going to break down into 5 parts. So there's types of expenditure is going to be the first section. And then I'm going to explain how it's measured. Then I'm going to talk about input and output of expenditure, how food gets into your body and how does it expend through your body. How does it leave your body? Okay, and we're going to talk about food and water retention. That's right, I said food retention. And then we're going to summarize the strategy. So those are going to be 5 sections. So the first thing is types. So let me go over them. So BMR, you probably heard of it. Not BMI, BMR, basal metabolic rate. Now, don't get mixed with RMR. RMR is usually your resting metabolic rate when you're not doing anything, when you are sleeping forever. Okay, you can measure RMR when you are just not moving, you're in a coma. BMR is more like based on your activity levels, but this is still should be measured as a sedentary measurement. Okay, so not including exercise, including your regular activity levels. Okay, you're going to the store, you're going to work, you're getting ready, putting your clothes on, preparing meals, driving to work, walking to your office and whatnot. Okay, that's all in the equation of your BMR. So that's your first type of expenditure. Second, exercise. Okay, if you don't exercise, of course you don't have any, so you don't include it into your BMR. So exercise, if you're going to the gym 3 times a week, or if you're going out for a walk, maybe 5 days a week, once a week, that should be included as an expenditure separately. So these are calories based on voluntarily exercise. Okay, third expenditure, EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. So this is the afterburn. Now, depending on your type of exercise, so if you're just doing cardio and you're so used to it, you're so used to that walk every single day, your body learns how to repair itself rather quickly. So you have very small EPOC. It's present, but you have a minimum of it. Now, if you're challenging your body 3 or 4 times a week, you're doing weight training and you're pushing yourself hard, you're doing stuff that you're doing feats that you never accomplished before, you're going to have significant EPOC because your body's going to go through this restore stage. So those are the additional calories based on the recovery process. Okay, and it's through the amount of oxygen that you exhale through your lungs. Okay, so that's your third type of expenditure. Our fourth type of expenditure is what I've created based on my experience, and that's called MAL. It stands for metabolic activity level. So let me give you an example. For a person that doesn't work out, let's say you walk to your office 5 days a week or 3 times a week if you're working at home. You may park your car, walk to your office. You probably will spend 50 calories, maybe even less, to walk there. Now, the example I'm going to give you right now is if you exercise and you push yourself, let's say on a Monday, you train hard, you beat up your legs. On Tuesday, you do that same walk from your car to your office. Your legs are tired. Maybe you have to go upstairs, a flight of stairs. Your legs are going to work harder. Your lungs are going to work harder. It's a more difficult task to do. So that is what I call metabolic activity level. You have an increase of metabolic activity level during all these variations that you do on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. We're going to talk about measuring. When you measure your heart rate, I'll explain more details about this, but I'm going to make it brief right now. When you actually inhale, it's based on your lung capacity, on what you output. So if you have bigger lungs, you could do one heartbeat and push out more carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, whatever's coming out of your mouth. Okay, so, and you could intake more. So if you have bigger lungs like a professional athlete, one heartbeat can expend more calories than someone that doesn't work out. Okay, does that make sense? So this is the reason why heart rate monitors really don't work too well, because it's really the amount that comes out based on the heartbeat. Now you have a strong heart, it pounds harder, you're going to burn more calories per heartbeat. Okay, so you can't just do an equation and say, okay, I'm at 148, I'm in my zone, I'm going to burn this many calories. So this brings up the next type of measurement. The next type of measurement is usually charts, okay, statistics that's been gathered from case studies. METs. MET stands for the metabolic equivalent. But this chart is based on, okay, for the average person weighing 150 pounds, a walk to the store, a walk at 3 miles per hour, there's a certain amount of calories you burn based on your body weight. So these charts, or these METs, metabolic equivalent attributes, are not accurate anymore, because like I just mentioned from the previous epoch, if you train your legs, you may get a different result. Okay, so this is METs is really old, by the way. Okay, our third and the most effective way to measure a VO2 test. So unfortunately, no one's going to want to run around doing cardio with a mask on their mouth. So VO2 test is usually done with doctors, or a specialty truck that comes around to these businesses, and they have the equipment in their van, and you could get a VO2 measurement. And this gives you a good idea of how, if you have that superior lung capacity like some athletes do. Swimmers have great lung capacity, so do rowers, cyclists, competitive cyclists. All these athletes have superior lung capacity, and they are expending a lot more calories per heartbeat. Okay, so now you know how to measure expenditure. We're going to talk about how calories go in your body and expend out of your body. So I'm looking at my notes. That's why I keep looking down. So intake, there's only two ways, two logical ways. Okay, food and liquid. All right, so what you eat are calories. What you drink are usually calories. Okay, and that's really the only logical way you could put calories on your body. Remember, food also turns into muscle. So don't say, okay, muscle puts on weight on your body, but food and fat becomes fat and muscle. All right, so output. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different ways. Okay, 3 of them are relevant. The other 5 are not that relevant, but I'm going to talk about them anyway. So what's the best way to get rid of, I just said it, to get rid of your calories is to exhale. Exhale. When you breathe out, some oxygen comes out, some of them stays in your lungs, nitrogen, CO2 comes out as well. But you are expending calories. So on a regular basis, if you look at charts, a person like me that's about 148 pounds, on a regular basis, I could probably burn 1,400 calories of not doing anything. But when I work out, I could probably burn 2,000. So all these charts are available online. You can check it out. So you expel calories through exhaling, based on, providing the energy that you provide through your body. You're exhaling the excess calories. Okay, number 2, urination. Okay, when you go to the restroom, I'm sure everybody goes to the restroom, and that could be a lot of pounds. This is one of the misconstrued areas of weight loss, is when people step on the scale and say, I'm not losing weight, I'm not losing weight. Well, did you go to the restroom? Okay, so urination could be like 2 or 3 pounds per day easily. So that leads up to defecation. Okay, if you're going to the restroom once a day, you have a healthy bowel movements, that is another way you could lose maybe 2 pounds. So I just said about 5 pounds could be just from going to the restroom in a day. So you got to think of the food that you put into your body. Number 4 is sweat. So I'm kind of sweating right now because I have my windows rolled up and it's a hot day. So sweat could be easily 1 or 2 pounds per day. It depends if you're working out or you're not working out, and if it's hot weather, if it's cold weather. Okay, so that one becomes the gray area of, significant expenditure. So other things, when you spit, when you sneeze, when you shed hair in the restroom, you have long hair and you're taking a shower, you may lose some hair. You're also losing skin cells. Okay, another one is sex. Okay, you're having sex, and of course, you're expending calories. We discussed it earlier. Is any surgery. Hopefully you don't have to have it. You don't have to have an arm removed or something like that. So a lot of you obviously know what water retention is. So how does it happen? Many things. It could be hormonal imbalances. It could also be stress, cortisol. If you develop cortisol, you could have water retention. However, usually water retention is an imbalance between potassium and sodium electrolytes. So you may hear people say, oh, drink water, but you have to have salt as well. So you have to have a balance of salt, water, potassium to control your water based on a fitness level. Okay. Now, sometimes when you are in survival mode, meaning you haven't eaten much, you haven't drank so much water, your body wants to hold on to that water that you consume. So if you go for a marathon run and you don't drink enough, you're probably going to chug a whole gallon worth of water, and your body will want to hold on to that water. So there's a lot of reasons for water retention. But the thing that needs to be addressed is your digestive system as well. So if you have a poor digestive system, you have a tendency not only to hold water, but to hold food as well. Okay, so some of the foods, based on what type of food it is, if it's dense carbohydrates, if it's a protein like such as a steak, those things take longer to digest. And if you don't have the correct digestive enzymes in your body, it may stay in your system for a while. So this is why I tell my clients, be careful when you step on the scale, because you may still have food in your body hasn't been properly digested yet. You may have went to the restroom, but not all of it came out yet. Okay, so your body's still processing it due to a slow digestive system. Okay, so that's a little bit about retention, but it's important that all my clients and all, everybody that works out drink more water. And the reason why you want to drink water, even if you want to lose water, is to flush out the system. Does that make sense? You want to force the flush instead of putting yourself in survival mode and holding all that water that you don't need. Okay, we're summarizing the strategy. If a lot of this content was too much for you to consume, please backtrack, review some of the content before you listen to this strategy, the summarization of the strategy. But let's get started. So what we learned first is heart rate monitors are not accurate. Okay, they could be up to 30% incorrect. They're not accurate for measuring calories. Now, if you want to gauge it to monitor your progress, then that's fine. If you want to gauge it to monitor your sleep, monitor your sleeping patterns or your behavior during the day, your activity levels, that's fine. But if you say I burned 1,000 calories because my heart rate said so, most likely there's a good chance that it's going to be inaccurate. And that's because it's probably going to move around when you do cardio, and you're going to lose some of those seconds. Also, if it's based on your lung capacity, if you have great lung capacity, your heart rate will not go as fast, but you're going to be expending more calories. Okay, quick formula that you could use. I've used this formula for many years, is just knowing your target heart rate. So I'm not going to get into details of what your target heart rate is, but it's 220 subtract your age. That is your maximum heart rate. Then you take a percentage away from that. So that could be 25%, which will give you 75%. So if, for example, 220 subtract my age, I'm 56 right now. So 164, I believe, is my maximum heart rate. Take 25% from that to get to 75. It's going to be around 130. Okay. You could look this up. That target heart rate, there's a formula for it. Now, once you know your target heart rate, you do your cardio within your target heart rate, within your average target heart rate. So that means if 135 is my target heart rate, I got to maintain that average for the full hour. Then you take your body weight and subtract it times 4. So I'm about 148 right now. So 148, roughly I could burn close to 600 calories per hour if I stay within my target heart rate. This formula works for just about everybody. Just do the simple math. It just sticks with you. Okay. Number 3, lift heavier so you have more afterburn. So you have what's called EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. When you have EPOC, you will burn more calories the day after, up to 96 hours, maybe 120, 28 hours. So you could have a 4-day expenditure. So try and lift heavier if you can. This goes for all ages. Okay, but be careful, of course. Okay, don't eat too less and put yourself in survival mode. Okay, when you eat too less, you're going to feel super hungry and your body will want to hold on to food. Once you get food, and it depends what kind of macronutrient you have, your body will want to store that because you've been in survival mode. That's why I tell my competitors that I train for bikini, physique, bodybuilding, I say, if you haven't had any sugar for a long time and then you eat something like an apple or something sweet, you're going to blow up. And that's what usually what happens, is because their body's not used to that nutrient. And then all of a sudden they consume it. It wants to hold on to it. Your body says, oh, I missed this. Oh, give me more. I'm going to hold on to this forever. Okay, so you have to eat less, yes, to lose weight, but don't starve yourself. So you don't want to eat too little so that you put yourself in survival mode. You have to have good balance between sodium and potassium. Okay, this is one of the hidden gems of my personal training. Don't want too much potassium because you could have heartburns or you could have heart issues. Now, it takes a lot to get a lot of potassium. You want too much sodium, everybody knows that, you'll have high blood pressure. So you need a good balance. Eat foods that help you digest. So pineapples, digestive enzymes. There's a lot of other foods and supplements that you could take to help digest your foods. Now, if you're eating a lot of vegetables that are easy to digest, then you don't need too many digestive enzymes. Okay, if you're eating a lot of protein, a lot of meats, you do need digestive enzymes. And it comes from natural foods, but it also comes from, like I said, pineapples. Okay, drink a good amount of water to help the flushing process so you don't hold on to water. Sounds weird, but it makes completely sense. If you don't have enough water, your body will say, hold on to the water because you don't want to die from hydration. So when you keep flushing it, you become this machine that wants to continuously go to the restroom, but you're flushing out all that, subcutaneous water that you don't need, and you're replenishing it as well. So cortisol, when you stress out, you bloat and you gain weight. So remember that. When you do things, try and be happy about it. Tell jokes, laugh, and I guess that's about it. So this concludes the B.R.A.V.E series. The next series that I will be starting is workout programming. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to become a partner and I'm getting close. So I hope this information was informative. Till next time.